I don't hear them very much. Is there an audience out there? Let me see that audience, Sam. There they are. These guys are warming up for our live in-person events coming up. Welcome, welcome everybody to Tuesday. We're so glad you're here. We are talking big events, big event to big event, and why you move your people that way and what that does to help build your business with SNSD Andy Young, why the big events, rally, promotions, turning up the heat in June, and more events already on the schedule and ready to roll. What you got?
Well, of course, we got the social wall, so if you want to get in on that, you can use our hashtag SNSD Factory on Twitter and Instagram, and if you're on Facebook, you need to mention at Let's Get Bigger Go Home. If you don't have social media, you can text us 404-465-1830. If you're emailing YouTube comments, private messages, stories on social media, none of that stuff's going to show up. So it's got to be a public post, conventional post on those three forms of social media, or you could send us an email or send us a text rather.
Send us an email.
Give us a minute because we do have to manually add any of the stuff that you text our way. But yeah, use that to recognize your people, and give me just a second to pull it up on my. Yeah, here we go.
It is.
So we got
Nice.
Yeah, waiting on people just to post some stuff on here, and this will be at the big events too. So we're going to have this set up as well, so you can just kind of be engaged throughout the event and recognize people, and you can see yourself up on the big screen just like you can see yourself on Tuesday training. So that's going to be cool too.
That is going to be cool. All right. You know what? What's the art called? Keep them moving.
Keep them coming and going.
Coming and going. That's what it is. That's right, right? Promotions. So if you promoted somebody this week, go ahead and go out to getbiggergohome.com onto the downloads promotions tab and fill out the form. It's easy and quick, and we pull those up till about 7:45-ish, and we will announce and congratulate all of your promotions from this week. So, rally time.
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, she's ready.
Rally started. If you're an RVP and only if you're an RVP, text us at 404-465-1830. RVPs only. Tell us who you are and how many people from your base shop you got watching. We've got an example there, RVP Young, 999 people. Text that to 404-465-1830. RVPs only. Later on, if your base shop makes it into the top teams for the playoff round, then we'll have each person in that base shop report in. But for right now, only the brokers, only the RVPs, please.
You think all the RVPs only do their own, or do you think they have people do it for them?
Depends on the scale of the operation.
All right, RVPs only. Remember, if you're an RVP just all by your lonesome, it's a great time to start reporting your numbers, and then magic things happen.
Yep.
Right? So, great. David Catan was the winner last week. That's so exciting. Number 4 for him since we've been doing this on Tuesdays. Really excited for him. I think that's awesome.
Yep.
Somebody new, kind of.
Yep.
All about the numbers, fighting for that number 1 spot. Good job, David. Who's going to be next? Who's going to be tonight and next week?
Yeah.
And go ahead and start to get that thing rolling down the track.
People like a dynasty, but at a certain point, records are made to be broken.
Yes, of course,
whatnot,
right?
so.
They were getting broken just not too long ago, right? So one more time on the number, 404-465-1830. The example of what you should report is right there. RVP, your last name, and the number of people that you have engaged. Remember, you can continually update that number until we cut you off at 8 o'clock. So, and allow for a little lag. I think there's a little bit of lag in the Google system there.
Oh, you mean the YouTube stream?
Yeah, between the stream, make sure you're live on the stream too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Make sure you're live. Like, don't, because you can get
You can
messed
rewind
up.
and or if you come in late, you can try and watch from the top. But
don't do that.
If you're in one of the top base shops, you're going to report your numbers in, and we're already going to be drinking in the back with the cameras off.
Exactly.
So,
So, and there's lag as it comes into to Trish on the count. So don't wait till the last minute because you won't get it. All right. So looking through the archives today, I found a great video that I think is a ton of fun, and it's called The Celebration. Go ahead, Sam. Yeah, yet not. Go ahead, Sam, roll this video before it gets out of control.
During the month, you're out there, you're pumped up, you're out there, you're recruiting, you're building, you're growing. And then, man, once a month, you can come to this victory celebration, bring all your people, and just celebrate like mad, like they're doing back here now. It's a riot, man. It's really neat.
Folks, you understand you're going to make 5 times more money, 3 times more money, 10 times more money. That's the magnitude of this. Folks, I'm talking about the Rolls Royce of financial services. Right. You want to win in your dadgum life. You want to be somebody. You want to build financial independence. You want to amount to something, right? But you can't do nothing like some of you do. I didn't promise it's going to be easy. I just promised it's going to be worth it, right? The greatest thing you can do for your people is to show them the thing works, right? You go out there and make money and save money and recruit people and get promotions, and you got to understand you can't win alone. You know, I've always said that you're always one recruit away, folks, from a surge. Just one. You just go out there and just get, well, I don't care how bad you got it. You just go out there and recruit one stud. The mark's got a natural mark. You're on a dadgum surge for the next maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, just one stud away. 1 or 2 good recruits away from a dadgum explosion. That was a tough stud that had great centers of influence. You got to do it first. You got to be the #1 recruiter, the #1 field trainer, always excited, always busy. And all I'm telling you, that's what it takes to win. And you keep selling that vision of greatness until you win or until you die. There is nothing, you understand, 0, nothing that even runs a close second to this A.O. Williams part-time opportunity. This thing is awesome. It ain't great. It's awesome. It's double awesome. How would you like now, at age 65, that would give you $1.2 million in cash at age 65? Right? You can do it. I'm not talking about somebody else. I'm not talking about a Rockefeller, some whiz-bang graduate from Harvard. I'm talking about Y-O-U. Understand, you build a business by helping other people become successful, right? We share the wealth at A.O. Williams. And we vowed that we were going to do what's right 100% of the time. Folks, in 1977, when we founded A.O. Williams, I looked the A.O. Williams Company in the eye, those 85 original people, and I said, dadgummit, we'll close the doors of A.O. Williams before we'll prostitute this wonderful company and the beliefs we have. This is earth-shaking, folks, to some of you, okay? Look at this. Let's say you go out and build 6 first-generation RVPs, folks, that do $2,000. Give you another chart. And they only do 2. That you do 6 and they only do 2. You tell me that ain't realistic, right? Your income is, look at him, let me write this down, 25 smackaroos a month. Folks, if you're not a producer, you can't expect to make a fortune, right? If we pay you a fortune because you're a good old boy, because you were here early, you were here at the right place at the right time, this wouldn't be a company I'd want to be a part of, right? I just proved to you that, man, if you want to produce, if you want to compete, if you want to win, can we have a negative attitude? How can we ever get down? How can we not be the most appreciative dadgum people in American business? To be part of a wonderful company like this, that pays us like this. You go to work when you want to, control your own destiny. Now, some of you out there saying, well, Lord, I ain't on that list. You got a chance to be on that list. Now, you tell me how you can go home and not feel good about A.O. Williams. Our compensation program for the winners, I don't care about the losers. 1977, we started A.O. Williams. You know, the previous 7 years, I was in this business. I believed in buy-term investment, but I couldn't see a company that really believed in buy-term and invest the difference. And after 7 years, I said, you know, I believe this is our opportunity. We had 85 people at that time, and I got them together, and I said, I believe we're a company of destiny. I believe there's an opening here, and I believe, folks, we can go for it, and I believe we can do something big. Now, that ain't pie in the sky, folks. We're going to have some guys do that. This is unbelievable. Life's a bowl of cherries. I'm going to believe in you if you say quit. Making a sale with A.O. Williams like taking candy from a baby. Mind-boggling. No, it's like giving candy to a baby. Right? Isn't that right? Right?
Woohoo! Look at her. You guys are awesome. I think you're up. You're next.
I'm next.
You're next.
Dadgum, that's a great audience we got tonight. Look
It
at that.
is.
They're fired up. Unbelievable. Got some great guests for you tonight. Unbelievable program. So I'm going to talk to you about event to event, building by events. And you got to be a recruiter. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to do something big here, you have to build people. And there's a lot of thought and talk everywhere, what are easier ways? Is there some other magical way? The only way I know is the face-to-face kneecap to kneecap. And we've done the Zoom, and the Zoom worked out. We had to do it. It's a necessity. But as we found out, Rob sent me an article that the CEO of Zoom got, zoomed out and tired of doing Zoom. But we saw at Keystone, people came in, they hadn't been together in a long time. And I'm just telling you, since the IPO, we got 27 new RVPs. That group of people is doing about 250 recruits by 250,000. They're just babies, brand new RVPs. I was looking at some of the numbers, like Evelyn Carrillo got promoted the last 90 days, 25 by 25 in her base. DeWitt Solid, 25 by I think 15,000. We got so many great stories that are people you never heard of, 22, 23, 27 years old. The future. And this business really, as much as things change, hasn't changed. I think that, as time went on, when I started 41 years ago, everybody had insurance. There was an insurance man in the neighborhood. They used to call it the insurance man, where they'd go collect the money, depending on the market. But people talked about insurance people. And they started with Life of Virginia was the first one, the Challenger, universal, variable, flexible premium, life, all that stuff came out. And all those companies, and they went down. They shrunk by 2/3. The companies basically got gobbled up because they quit serving the middle-income, middle-class market. They went after people that were going to pay $250, $300, $400, $500 a month and more, and abandoned the middle-income, middle class. And so I start in '80, about 75, 80% of the people had insurance. You come out to 2010, 2015, it was reverse. Only 25, 30% of the people had insurance. Well, one of the things that COVID did was show people that there was a need for it. But that by itself, in and of itself, is not going to be enough to sustain. It's not about building a general agency system. That's the thing that Art hated. And he just talked about in that video, we're not going to prostitute ourselves out. We got a company where you can build wealth and build generational wealth. And so we've got an opportunity now to do something great coming out of COVID. Now look at, who's got the game plan for going back to events. And I look around the company, I talk to some of my friends, and they're kind of hit and miss and doing some stuff. And we came out, we did Keystone. Night class, Get Big or Go Home, what we put together. And they went to Code Orange the night before we started. We had a contract that allowed us to stay at yellow. Otherwise, we don't do the meeting. We came within hours. It reminded me of the A.L. Williams days. We're just sitting around like, Weeson's got this thing of, that there's a, $5,000 fine and up to 18 months in jail. And we're sitting around talking about this crap. I'm talking about we do the meeting and something gets screwed up. You're talking about $5,000 didn't scare us, but the 18 months in jail. Then finally he said, well, I thought about it, and I put red on the deed to the condo, so she'd be the one in jail. So we'll go ahead and run the meeting. We did crazy crap like that all the time. Nobody thought anybody was going to jail, but it's crazy times. If you're going to run the play, you run the play. And damn it, Keystone was badass, and y'all that were there, you know it. And those of you who weren't there, you heard about it. And now we're getting ready to cycle up. People say, well, we're going to do the Super Saturday. I went with Darla. We sat down and looked at the schedule. Well, we got this Super Saturday. It's only going to be 3 weeks away from North Carolina. I don't give a crap. We're doing them all. I'm picking D. We're doing all of them. Because if you're recruiting and you're building and recruiting to recruit, if you're doing that, there can't be enough meetings. And people come to me and say, well, all these meetings, yeah, well, it's just you and your 2 or 3 guys. I'm sure you don't want to go to more meetings. But you got brand new people, you can't wait to get them to another meeting. And that's why Super Saturday on June 12th is going that dadgum thing is going to be a warm-up for Winston-Salem. It's a one-day event. And events, we started back in the day. I went to Atlanta as I just signed my IBA. And I met Art Williams, and I met Bob Turley, my RVP. And I decided I was pretty sure I was going to go full-time. But after that, man, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, man. I made the biggest decision of my life being at that big event, the Presidential Hotel. Hung around people I never met. I didn't know anybody. I went by myself. But I said, damn it, I'm going to do this thing. And that's what happens at big events. And then we started doing big events. And we did retreats, and we did picnics. We did anything we could do to put things together. But then we went back to the 3-day schools with Larry Weidel, and we kept that thing going, and we started doing them around the country where it fit. We did them up in New Jersey. We went to Somerset, New Jersey. I'll never forget, Art Williams walked out on a Thursday and made an announcement. Actually, it was a Wednesday. made an announcement over at the Dadgum Marriott Hotel over there at Cobb Galleria. We're over the Waverly Hotel. He can't even finish reading the statement. Angela reads a 90-second statement. I'm gone and can have no further contact with the company. You talk about your daddy dog getting run over on the daggum interstate and a bunch of puppies running everywhere. That was insane. And I remember a bunch of people said, what are we going to do? And a lot of people made crazy decisions. And I said, I don't know. I signed a contract to go to Somerset, New Jersey. We're going to go run up the score. And that was in the middle of our run from 80 recruits a month to 1,250 a month. 960 recruits for the year hierarchy to 15,000. I did a Zoom for the great GLI, Peggy and her team the other day, and was talking about it. I mean, and Laura knows this, Cindy knows this, Kofer knows this. We got Kofer on the show tonight. There were 7 of us that started the first Breakfast Club. And not one of us had 10 recruits in a month. And it was all going to be about double-digit recruiting, but not one of us had done 10 all year long. And we committed we're going to do 10. And we started that recently in Atlanta, where you get 10 or you ain't coming to the meeting. I mean, we gave them a month and a half notice. You get 10 or you ain't coming to the meeting. And what will happen is 10 will be a big thing. Then 25 will be a big thing. Then 50 will be a big thing. Then 100 will be a big thing. And we're going to have people building hierarchies. I'm telling you, the success that's getting ready to come out is going to be amazing. And nobody does it like Night Glass and get better go home. I can just tell you, a lot of committees are forming. There's some things where people are talking about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you're getting the home office involved. So we need to make sure that the Vivint guys there and the Invesco guys there and the prepaid legal and all the other stuff we do, make sure everybody gets a booth, everybody gets, 20, 30 minutes on a program. I'm talking about a system where double-digit recruiting is going to be king. Double-digiters you come into our meeting, that's where the tables are. Double-digit recruiting. And it's the more you do, the bigger you get, the more double-digit teams, because that's all about building districts, building distribution. That's where the RVPs come from. Bob Turley, go get you 60 more districts. That comes from double-digit recruiting. You got a shot to get 1 or 2 people out of 10 to go to district. That's the name of the game here. You start building, you do the sales, and they say, where do the sales come from? If I did 60 districts in 18 months, 18 of them were direct. And the other 42 was I got a district and got them a district. And got that guy below them a district. That's where the other 42 came from. But if it was 3 recruits and 6 sales, which it was, and their sale that they bought on their life didn't count as one of the 6. So if you just do the simple math on 60, it's 6 times 60 is going to be 360 sales. And half of them are a little better, bought a policy on them. Some of them couldn't do it. They weren't insurable, whatever. But let's call that 400, 420 sales by producing 60 districts. But wait, Johnny, tell the guests there's more. Because think about all the people that were going for district didn't make it. The ones that did 1 sale or 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5, imagine. Okay, didn't quite get there. It was probably 700, 800 sales from 60 districts. But looking up, we had 80 RVPs a couple years later. Where do you think the RVPs came from? From districts. That's where RVPs come from. So our system is built entirely around double-digit recruiting, not a bunch of other noise, building districts, and COCO's the ultimate prize. And COCO is, I invented it, COCO is Circle of Champions owner. I did it before it was the handcuffs because you're writing your way to $1 million or $500,000. You keep writing it. I have a sad story of a great friend of mine in the business who's now, getting ready to turn 70, doesn't want to go anymore, has pretty much made $300,000 a year for a long time, full ownership. But look at what the production of the hierarchy is, and there is no hierarchy. It's pretty much been written on the pen. And when they assess the value of your business, if you're not going to be here anymore writing it on your pen, they don't value that because there is no value if you're not here anymore. And so are you going to build something or not build something? So big events are critical. And the one-day events, they're great, but people do the honeydews. They come out for a little while, they, come stick their toe in the water, they show up late, leave early, always got something going on, looking at their watch at the one day, the 3-day event. And people come to me all the time, why do you do that? Because that's what Art did. And to me, it's unbelievable that I would say that's what Art did. And they would go, well, what did he do that for? Well, he's the billionaire, not the rest of us. His hierarchy team name, by the way, is Primerica. He's got the biggest hierarchy out there. East Coast, West Coast, Meyer. He's got the biggest one of all of them. 3-day school, because you get people out of their environment. You get them away. You get them around other people moving in the same direction. And I promise you, and this is what we sat down, we had our pact, we're going to double down through COVID, and we did. And we kept the thing running. Now, Matt and I, I'm sure, would say the same thing. We meant double down. We didn't mean like quadruple down, but hey, it was COVID. I mean, you just had to do what the crap you got to do. We just ran the plane, kept flying the plane, ran the play. And as we're coming out of it, I promise you, nobody's got a game starting with our dates intact all the way through 2022. You know the drill. You know how it works. They say, well, the contract wasn't fully set up with the embassy. All that's going to be worked out. You know, they're got hotel rooms. You're going to be fine. But we're going to come out of this thing. I'm telling you, we were as strong as we were March 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2020. We will come out exactly as strong as we were before all this happened, the day that we declare victory and come out and run it again July 9th, 10th, and 11th. But your warm-up is June 12th. You get a bunch of people there, and they get 1 or 2, 3 people that aren't even in the business to North Carolina. That's where your explosive growth is going to come from. You know, Larry Waddell, we started coming to Atlanta because the TV studio, which was about, the whole TV studio had a bleacher. So it was about pretty much the same size as this studio right here. Pretty close, okay? And they had little bleachers up. I mean, it's bleachers, you know, metal seats. And we were like, come see our TV studio. Man, we've come down 12 hours each way. And Larry Waddell said, that's a great idea. We're going to do it too. So we did it for the time when we went to the 1,250 a month, 15,000. We went from 960 recruits to 15,000. During that run, we had lots of new people. So we came every 2 weeks. We, you know, the regulars, we came every 2 weeks. There was about 10, 12 of us, the core. And all the rest of them were all new recruits every time. That was the magic. So we've got the same thing going on. I'm telling you, nobody's going to do it better than we do it. And it is all about the new people being there. I get it. If it's you and the same guy. You know what? And a lot of people actually like the 3-day event, the social part of that too. And I think there's going to be a lot of people pretty excited about the social part. But understand clearly, Coco is Circle of Champions owner, which before that was ISNSD. They decided to call it Circle of Champions, fine. And then by committees, they've had them think about what are 4 other ways that you could get to Circle of Champions that don't involve getting 18 first generations and doing 500,000. Get all the ways you want. It's not going to build you a solid business. 18 first, 500. If you want to be like the great people in the early days, the A.L. Williams greats, the great apes, whatever you want to call them, those huge hierarchies, that's what they did. And multiplied. I had 29 first when I stopped back in the late 80s. And so what level do you want to play at? And that's what we're going to play. That's the level we're going to be playing at with our big events. As we come out of this thing, I can promise you nobody's got a game plan like we got. I'm so fired up about bringing new people in there. I'm already looking at the growth that's happening right now. Because what I was going to say about the little blitz squad down here, I told Peggy's people, they ain't even figured out how to go to the bathroom by themselves yet, some of them. I mean, they're like wobbling around, not even walking on 4 legs, you know, like little calves and, you know, little farm animals just like stumbling around, figuring out. But I'll tell you, they're badass. They're beating Maryland. Oh, you got 80 RVPs, 1 around the Beltway. Maryland, young region. Maryland's #1 RVP factory. That's a regional leader. 80 RVPs around Maryland. Biggest, it's not even close how big we are in Maryland. Blitz Squad's going to beat everybody in Maryland. The only 2 hierarchies that are beating them right now are Christian David and Peggy Hightower. And I'm telling you, if they get 50% bigger, they're going to scare the crap beat them too. So what level do you want to play at? I'm talking about, and I had somebody ask me the other day at a retreat down in Jacksonville, you know, back when you were, you know, really working, I got 27 new RVPs since the IPO. How many you got? I got 3 new first generation SVPs. What you got? And so when I was working, Tom Brady doesn't go out and say, could you guys give me a break? I don't really want to come to practice today. He's working as hard as he did when he was a rookie. And I do every daggone presentation right now, and I've had a pile of people tell me no this year, this past month, and this past week. Because the business is the business is the business is the business. And it is about building the relationships brick by brick. Nobody's going to have a better game than we've got to go double-digit recruit, building districts all the way to Coco. What level you want to play at, it's your choice. You get the people there, they'll see it. That's the big thing. You don't have to do the work. You got to do is just get your butt there and bring a team, and the rest will be done. So we got our early volley. Rob, Darla.
There you go.
What we got next,
Right.
guys?
Well, I was thinking about you coming to the studio, right back, and it was aluminum bleachers, aluminum, right? And then you never knew how long Art would go. It was supposed to be from 12 to 1, but if he was on a roll, it could be from 12 to 2
Buy some
on
more
the
satellite time.
bleachers. Yeah. Yvonne, Can we get? I need to get a more
Or if he was
satellite time.
changing our compensation plan for
Right.
everything.
Yeah, you did that often. Call ahead, like go ahead and didn't matter who answered the phone. It could be the janitor or like whoever it was. Get some graphics. Get me some stuff. Yes, sir. Got it for you. All right. Fun times. Promotions. Once again, turn your promotions in. We'll get those pulled so we can recognize your teammate and their work. Looking for district, division, regional leaders, RVP and above, anybody that you promoted this week. Go ahead and get that done. GetBiggerGoHome.com on the download promotions tab.
And rally graphics. So yeah, if you're just joining us and you're an RVP, we want to hear from you and know how many people are in your base shop watching the show right now. So send us a text to 404-465-1830, only if you're an RVP right now. And tell us who you are, identify yourself, and how many people you got watching. You get an update to your numbers, just shoot us another text, but still identify yourself. Tell us how many people you got watching. And later on at 8 o'clock, we'll cut it off and do a playoff and find out who the real players are at the end when we verify.
Verify. Trish, I can just see the side of Trish over there, just writing down all the names, doing little updates and tick marks and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk events. Yay, in person.
Yep.
Full,
Turn up the heat, Super Saturday,
turning
and
up the
Winston-Salem.
heat, full count. Everybody can come. We're really excited about that. So we did a little promo for us, I think, right, Sam? All right.
Get your tickets, get your tickets, get your tickets.
Yes, June the 12th, it will sell out.
Yeah.
Due to the size of the room.
Yep.
So go ahead and get that done. The other reason you want to go ahead and get that is because recognition cutoff date is coming up. It is this Sunday, June the 6th. If you have to have a ticket in your own name by that point to be included in any kind of recognition that we're going to do there. So that's very fun.
Yep.
Very fun. And as Andy said, it's a great warm-up for getting your people to Winston-Salem,
Yep.
which is just
And if you're a
around the
new
corner.
RVP, are we talking about that later?
Oh, no,
Or-
go ahead and talk about that
So
now.
if you,
Great
let's say
idea.
you joined us during COVID and now you're going to come to one of our in-person events for the very first time. If you're an RVP that hasn't plugged in before, go to getbiggergohome.com, go to the downloads page. You're going to see a form, the new RVP form. We need that form signed and emailed to tickets@nightglass.com so that we can submit that to the home office before the recognition cutoff date, right? Because we got to get permission from the home office to pull your numbers with the report that we pull on the recognition cutoff date. So we need that beforehand if you want to be included in recognition and get your people recognized.
That's how that works. And it's also out there in the download page, very top, right above promotions.
Yep.
Easy to find. So I guess we'll just go on to the next segment, and I'll
Sounds
just
good.
start with asking you a question.
Okay.
All right. So you told me one time that you made a decision to join the business, right?
Yeah.
At a big event.
Yes.
And so I often wonder if people think that Andy made you join
No.
or
Well, so it was.
twisted your arm or suggested strongly. Tell me
Yeah.
how you got here.
So Amy and I were engaged, and Andy came and had lunch at us at Papado, and said he needed somebody to take over the business, and he wanted it to be Amy, and she needed to sign her IBA, and then go get a license, and
Yeah.
then whatever if you're interested, you can come around to some of the big events and just kind of see what's going on,
Right.
but mainly just have a license in case something happens, it'll be a seamless transition.
Right.
And so I was like, we're getting married, so I'll sign up too, and we'll just study together and be study buddies.
right.
And sure enough, we decided to show up every once in a while for some of these big events. So we started going every month to the big events, and that was basically our only exposure to the business for a little bit because we both had full-time jobs, and slowly but surely, he never said anything,
No,
but a
doesn't
bunch of other
have to.
people said a lot of
Right.
things.
Well, and you're in the environment.
Yeah, you get in the environment. It's big decisions are made at big events, and the environment was made in such a way that obviously I'm going to start making some big decisions, and that's basically what happened. Bill Arender came and talked about recruiting, and he opened up
best.
talking about two quotes. He said, Warren Buffett, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're going to work every day until you die. And J. Paul Getty, it's better to make 1% of your income off 100 people than it is to make 100% of your income off of one. Now that's a little bit complicated, so I'll say it one more
Wow.
time. J. Paul Getty said, it's better to make 1% of your income off of 100 people, be an owner of a business, right, than make 100% of your income off of one, yourself. Going to work for yourself and only getting paid off your own efforts, right? So he talked about the rechargeable checking account, whether you get out of bed or not. Freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of control, all three, all at once. And that's what really blew my mind, because I had the nice job, right? I had the title, I had the degrees, I was an engineer. He talked about, he said, if you're afraid to recruit someone because they make more money than you, still remember that lawyers, doctors, they're all 100% off one. Even some business owners, right? If they don't show up and they don't get paid, they're still self-employed, right? Even if they got a few employees. So really, your recruiting philosophy, he stressed, your recruiting philosophy is to treat 100% off of one like it's a whole life policy, right? Think about how we react when we find out one of our friends or somebody we care about has a whole life policy. It's like, oh, we got to talk. We got to talk. You don't know what you have. We got to fix this. I can explain it to you. That's how we need to think about people that have 100% off one life, right?
Yep.
Because it's even if they're a doctor, even if they make more money than you, the fact is they'll never have freedom of time, freedom of money, and freedom of control.
This is true.
A doctor might have freedom of money, but they sure as hell don't have freedom of time, right?
Or control now.
Yeah. And if someone says they don't have time to do the business, that basically just means you've explained the business incorrectly to them. Primerica is here to fund your perfect life, right? A job is there just to pay the bills. So your broke, dead-written life where you can't get off the treadmill, that's a job, right? Versus what Andy's got is true freedom. And I went from being, I got an engineering degree, graduated during the Great Recession, couldn't find a job, was working for minimum wage with a pile of student loan debt with an engineering degree. The economy recovered. The first job I was able to get, I went to work, can I say the company's names? Or
Sure.
Okay. I went to work for Nissan as an engineer, except here I am with a 4-year degree and a pile of student loan debt with this super professional job, and they're hiring me as a contractor. I don't work for Nissan. I show up to work for Nissan, but I don't get any of Nissan's benefits, and I get less pay. And then if they want to let me go, there's no severance package or any of the stuff, basically. And from there, I went to be a full-time salaried employee at Toyota, and know what's awesome about Toyota? They pay overtime to salaried employees.
That is
It's really
nice
nice
benefit for a
and
job.
It's time and a half,
right?
double time, just like a
job.
wage worker. What they don't tell you is you're going to be working overtime every single day for months at a time.
Every weekend.
Every weekend, every day.
weekend.
I go,
That got old.
4 to 6 weeks on average without a day off for 2 years before I quit. So I made all the money in the world, but I never had any time. I could not get off the treadmill. And from there, when I sat down with Andy, I was a commissioned sales guy, because I realized, okay, I'm working more than everybody else around me at Toyota. I want to get paid more. I want to have a commission job, and I want to get out of the factory. I want my weekends back, so I started selling robots for a company I used to buy robots from, and I was just chasing freedom of time, money, and control as I moved from job to job. And what I realized after sitting down with Andy and sitting down and seeing Bill Arender is that there's only 24 hours in a day. There is an absolute ceiling of physical exhaustion at which point you no longer could possibly do any more work yourself.
Yep.
And that's when I realized that, and the one thing that Bill said that kind of closed that out, that was just kind of like the bitch slap
Smack.
of
Smack
his
you up.
thing. Yeah, is tell the story about a boss that came over and he sat down one of his employees' cubicles, and he said, Darla, I said, I want you to close your eyes real quick. Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. All right.
Now I want you to imagine a big house
Yes.
on the biggest hill,
Okay.
on the biggest side of town, Mercedes Benz in the driveway,
All right.
country club membership,
Nice.
a yacht in Jacksonville.
Okay.
If you work really, really hard,
I can have all that?
all that'll be mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
where I was working. And
you were done with that, huh?
And that's all it took for me to realize I needed to do something different. So
And let me throw a disclaimer out, because I know a lot of y'all on social media, you're on social media right now, you're screwing around with that crap instead of watching the program, because that's what you do. Instead of building RVPs and getting big and going to Coco. But the robots he sold were like, automated. They had something to do with cars. They weren't like what you see on the internet, those new robots.
Like
It had nothing to do with any of that
Jetsons.
crap. Rob was not involved, none of that Epstein stuff. Nothing. These are like robots that make things, okay? All right, so that's unbelievable, because that Rob, he went to a big event, it totally changed things. And then Kofer, I see Kofer there.
Yes.
Yep.
William
Cool.
Kofer's going to join us next. And William and then Janine Martin, too. I want you guys to just go back to back. 2-3 minutes on, like, why do you plug in? What's the impact on your business, and why you keep doing it over and over again, William?
And Kofer,
Welcome.
Kofer's a survivor of the Cricket Inn. Our first, that was the way we planted our flag, the Cricket Inn. 1999, bathtub was full of all kinds of beer and liquor.
Yeah.
7, 8 people. So he lived through that too. Go ahead, Kofer. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Andy. Darla, Matt, Rob, appreciate everything you all do. Good evening.
Thank you.
To move people to the events, first of all, you've got to get to the event to really see what it's all about to be able to sell the event. For me, Andy Young closed me to my first big event on a handshake. It was a retreat at Summit Lake. And that totally changed my life. I already had a business. I was a contractor, painting contractor, and I've always been motivated to go make money. But he closed me to go to this event. I went, it was a March event. Larry Waddell was one of the key speakers there. And as a result of going to that event, I made the decision to close the contracting business down. I went full-time May 1st, got promoted to RVP November, 6 months later. And had I not been at that event, I'm positive I would not be here now. So you're listening to a guy who totally believes with every fiber in me that events can totally and completely change your life. But if you're not there, you have no idea what you're going to miss. You have no idea what's missed. If people go to the event and come back and talk about it, they cannot paint a vivid enough picture to make up for the fact that you weren't there, because what impacted them, something totally different might have impacted you. So to kind of put that in perspective, if you've ever gone to a restaurant, been to a restaurant with this fine dining, you might be looking at the menu and all of a sudden the waiter walks by with a sizzling steak. It just sounds incredible. I know all my plant-based people, my vegetarians, y'all a little unhappy with me, but I've never seen a sizzling pot of green beans or cauliflower or Brussels sprouts or anything like that. I've seen this and heard of sizzling steak, so I got to use that, okay? But my point is, if you're not in the environment, you can't appreciate it. And a lot of times, if that sizzling steak is really popping, you might change what you were thinking about ordering because that sounded so good. That only happens if you're there. The second thing is, you got to fight to get to the event. Sometimes the event comes on, you might be some challenges going on or whatever. You've got to make a decision right off the break that you're going there. So on this event coming up in a couple of weeks, when Andy made the announcement, there was never a doubt as to whether we were going to be there. Part of the benefit we have coming from Maryland is every event is an away game for us. It doesn't matter whether it takes place in Atlanta or whether it's Winston-Salem, it's an away game. So one of the things that I realized right off the break, and our traveling team realized, is number one, we needed a traveling team. And then the more people we had on that traveling team, the more people could come back and resonate that the event was all that and then something. People that didn't go missed out, and they've got to make a decision to be there as well. So having multiple people singing the same message makes a big difference as well. The last thing is that you can never underestimate the impact of compound building. And by moving people from event to event, more people are there, they see it, they come back, they're excited, they buckle down, and that's really where the recruiting explosion takes place. That's how we get the recruiting explosion coming out of Penn Belt, moving masses of people coming right out of an opportunity meeting, jumping on a bus to go to Atlanta, rolling down, coming back, less than 36 hours round trip. And this meeting coming up in a couple of weeks is a similar set of circumstances. It's going to be incredible. I promise you, lives will be changed. So the main thing I would say is make a decision to show up. Make a decision to get people there, regardless of what your title is. You could be a brand new associate. Make a decision for you to get there and see how many people that you can get there. Because the more people you get there to see what you see, hear what you hear, the more exciting it's going to be. Sometimes the message that they hear comes from the road trip, the stories that are told in the bus, the breaks to take out before the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting, the lunch, whatever it is. But if you're not there, you don't get it. So make a decision to be, and I promise you your life will be changed. Thanks.
Thanks, William. Let me see. Now we have Janine Martin. Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
It's so good to see you in Colorado.
I know. We're excited. We're excited to see everybody again very soon. Tell me, and well, tell us all, like, what, plug it in, like moving people from event to event.
So I think about just the decisions that we've made over the last really 12 years. And my biggest event that I went to was right after we lost our home in an F5 tornado. And it was April 10th, 2009. And I had committed to go to an event with Andy. And we were in a hotel room with 2 birds, 2 dogs, one 12-year-old, me and my husband. My parents had just gotten there. And so I rented a car and I told Mike, I said, look, I told Andy I was going to be there. I'm going to be there. And my mom's like, have you lost your mind? You don't have any of your cars. You don't have any clothes. So I ran to Walmart. I grabbed a couple of things on the shelves, hopped in the car, and met with Andy that weekend. And we made a decision. Andy invited us to Atlanta. And so we got out of Tornado Alley and came to Georgia, and go Dogs. And we ended up here. And then the last 12 years, we've saved over $1 million cash, promoted 4 RVPs. Our life is completely transformed. Everything, all of the decisions, the life that we live now is a byproduct of the last 12 years. So number one is relationship, is being there with people and connecting with people and getting to know them beyond the business. That's the glue that keeps people around long enough till they catch it, until they catch fire and they get in that environment. So number 2 is environment. It's the energy, it's the fire, it's the magic. There's magic in numbers. You know, even if you're if you're cold and you want to get warm, you have to bring both your hands together and rub them to create warmth. And the more people, the more energy. Number 3 is you can't be everything. I can't be everything to all of our people, but I can put my people in front of the right people. And so they might hear me say something and hear somebody say the exact same thing that looks like them, comes from their career background, and it clicks for them. And it's not about Mike and me winning. It's about putting our people in an environment where they can get the message they need so they can win. So they have the opportunity to be financially independent and live the life that they deserve to live. And then the last thing is freedom, is putting people in a place where they can grow up and find their land legs, right? They have sea legs when they first come into Primerica, and they get their land legs and they can start running and they can see that they can do it. There's something about seeing other people win big to stretch their vision way beyond what Mike and I have done, that they can be bigger than us and they can do more than us. And that only happens in a big environment. So be there, don't miss it. Don't ever miss a meeting, even if there's a hurricane.
Beautiful.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great
guys.
stuff.
Great stuff. Thank you. Got a couple of little comments you want to make?
If there's a hurricane, snowstorm, whatever the issue. All right, that was great stuff. Appreciate you guys being on. And it's just, it really is digging down. And one of the things you got to do for the Super Saturday and for North Carolina is you're going to have some people say, well, I'm not sure if I can go, or I got, my baby's having their 5-month-old birthday party. They're turning 5 months old, and we got a big party or whatever, because the kid really doesn't know if it's that day or not. But anyway, if you have people already committed to go, and they're fired up about going, that's going to push the people that are on the fence to say, well, you got 3 or 4 or 5 people, don't worry about it. And they're like, crap, the fear of loss is always that candle to the rear end. You got people, layers down, dig down, get all the people you can to commit to come in, because you don't know which one is going to be affected in a positive way. Major, big decisions made at big events. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Like you think, and I'm telling you, reading studies about this right now, there's going to be a lot of people coming out of COVID making big life-changing decisions. Trust me. Now, where are they going to go to figure out where they're going to make those decisions? I know we got a plan. I don't know where else they're going to say anything, but you're crazy not to load up and get all the people you can, all hands on deck, to get all the people you can to these events.
All right. That is the truth, right? They're so exciting. All right. Turn your promotions in. Last call. GetBigOrGoHome.com, downloads promotion page right there in front of you. We'll pull the last of those here, and we'll announce them at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Where else?
Right.
Oh, Trish's
turn.
up.
Hello.
We're all like summery now. I'm all excited about that.
We're all just wearing our flowers and our stripes and our bright
Yeah,
colors.
like bright.
Okay, so here are the RVPs that have reported in so far. Goodman, Martin, Gupta, Marmolejo, Parker, Price, McKeever, Johnson, Marshall, Muse, Langston, Stewart, Craig Lane, Tejada, Kofer, Risby, Doris Rodriguez, Florinord, Eubanks, Robinson, Red, Walker, Whitmere, Berryman, Trin, Malika, Mitchell, Searcy, Ottingers, Mole, Lewis, Nguyen, Catan, Shaw, Rodriguez, that one's Ray, Thompson, I didn't write his, I already knew. Pardon me?
We got Doris, too.
I know, I said Doris. I think I already
see?
said Doris, so now I
See?
got to qualify that one's Ray.
Rodriguez.
Ray Rodriguez. Thompson, Richmond, Cheeks, Hayes, Roach, Madkins, McGinnis, Bellarice, Vince Lane, Snavely, King, Bynum, Schmidt, Luzinaris, Crenshaw, Scott, Maltzby, Espinosa, Carrillo, Hall, DeWitt, Rubio, Costanzas, Sheridan, Malone, Kahn, Pallant, Parkhurst, Shakar, Santana Allen, and Charles. That's who we have so far.
Walter Charles.
Walter Charles.
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, 15 more minutes, so get the final numbers in. And if you haven't reported, go ahead and get there quickly.
Yep.
The number 404-465-1830. We're still at RVP last name, and the number of people, right? Pretty soon we will verify. The next group of people that we're going to talk to are more about the big events, why you plug in, and the impact it has on your business. My great friend Laura Langston, who's doing month end, right? In a burger, like you're in a Burger King. Are you there? I can't hear you.
You're
Is she
muted.
muted?
There we are.
There you
okay.
are.
We're on.
All right, so tell me, what do you think about like moving your people to from event to event, and why you do this? What's the impact it has?
Well, for one thing, what amazes me is if you look at A.L. Williams Primerica from 1 year to 13 years, Art Williams took the company from one recruit to 225,000. And then basically sold the agency for $2 billion. So question is, can we do that? Yes, we can do that. And it's just a question of how big we think and how far our vision is stretched. So your vision gets stretched at big events. Listen, if you guys, if you suck at everything, you need to get big or good at getting people to big events, because we all doubt ourselves. I mean, everybody that's watching this show has doubts. At every level, you got doubts. Well, you know what? If you want to keep people's heads in the game, and if you want to get them around and your competitors, if you want to get somebody, maybe you got a team that's small and You feel like you don't have anything happening. Well, a sure way to fix that is to get into a big event, because your competitors are going to look at, there's layers of competition. There are people sitting at the tables that have food. There are people sitting at the tables that don't have food. There are people that are not sitting at tables at all. So, you got to find a way to keep people's heads in the game. And that's how you do it. You grow. Look, you're doing two things here. You're either growing or you're dying. I know that's a stark reality, but there's no such thing as maintaining, so you really grow from event to event. So the bottom line is, if you win Super Saturday, you are going to win Winston-Salem. If you win Winston-Salem, you're going to win Keystone. Guys, building relationships. Janine said it. They're built brick by brick. You have people for a limited amount of time on a Zoom call, in a classroom training. But you get them away for a weekend, you get to know them. You get to know their dreams, their goals, the things in life that they want to accomplish. And big decisions are made at big events. So never go anywhere by yourself, because this is a business of building relationships. And so you spend your time with people to do that. Anytime you've got a chance to have anybody in the room, you need to fight to get them in the room. First, you need to be in the room, and then you need to drag people along with you. So, I'll reiterate that point. If you suck at everything, get good at getting people to big events, because they're going to see somebody that looks like them, and Andy talks about the space shuttle taking off, and the way that the air just blows your hair back. It's just, it's like incredible. You can't describe that. The stealth bomber, going over the stadium during the Super Bowl. What an amazing thing. Well, you can't explain that to people. You just have to be there. You can't bottle that stuff up with a book full of notes and come home. You do that, but it's nothing like being in the room, guys. So it matters. It matters how many people that you get to Super Saturday. It matters if you invite people. Listen, the day before, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, well, hey, listen, I'm going to come pick you up. I got someplace I want you. I got somewhere, whatever you need to do to get people to a big event. And just so happens our next big event is June 12th. Before June 12th, our next big event is Tuesday training. Our next big event is your op meeting. Whatever the case may be, keeping people's heads in the game is crucial. But big events will change people's lives. So thanks for the opportunity, Darla. Thank you guys so much for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for pulling over and telling us about the events. It's true, you have to be there. I find it, after all of them that I've done, because I'm at all of them.
Yeah.
Andy and I do a little call every now and then. Oh, it looks like there's an ice storm. We're like, yeah, well, if we're there, there's a meeting, right? There's always a meeting. And it does blow you away every single time we do one. Yeah. I'm still blown away by that. Next up is little Evelyn. Evelyn Correa. How are you?
It's Big Evelyn now.
Oh, I heard, right? Big Evelyn now. Welcome. Tell us, right? It's not like you're not like the others where you've been doing this for decades or a long time or whatever, right? Tell us what your perspective about moving people from event to event and how that has impacted your business.
Yes, thank you so much for this great opportunity. I have a video here, guys, it was from the first big event that it was January 6, 2019. It was on Winston-Salem, January 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I recorded this video.
Thank you so much.
On the bus, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me record this so I can remember the day I went to this event. And I even said in this video, I'm going to play this video again once I'm an RVP, and I'll be making $100,000 a year. So, you know, my first big event showed me, because my coach, Belder Rubio, told me, you need to go to this event. It's going to change your perspective and your business. So I was like, okay, let me go. And most definitely, it actually helped my business. I had an explosion. Now I have a lot of people from different, like state Philadelphia here. And then I'm telling them that their business is going to explode if they go to this big event, Super Saturday, and then to Winston-Salem. So, I mean, it's just a great opportunity for us to have the vision, the wisdom, and to pump our business to the next level. Thank you so much, Darla.
Evelyn, before you finish up, I think it was last Thursday, we were in Philadelphia, and I've gone, you know, when you get 15, 20 people, new recruits like you did, I've kind of traveled around some of those places, but I think you did the meeting before the meeting before the meeting. You had 16 people who signed up who came to dinner Thursday night. What did that do to set up people coming to Atlanta and Winston-Salem from Philadelphia, the meeting with the 16 people at the Brazilian restaurant?
I mean, after that dinner, they texted me. They were like, Evelyn, we're going to drive over there, or whatever you want us to do, we're going to be over there. Even a couple that they decided to stop doing it, she was like, you know what? Can you reactivate my ID? Can you reactivate my policy? Me and my husband wants to do this and wants to take our business in another level. So it actually, you know, it was an amazing. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Coach Bell, that without you, my business wouldn't be like it is right now. And yes, thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, congratulations. Well done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Deontay Miller, right?
Yeah.
RVP, regional leader.
RVP next month.
No, RVP next month. You're so awesome. But tell us, did you make a big event? Like, were you at, like, in Winston-Salem one time?
No.
No? No?
Still muted, Deontay.
Hold on.
Unmute.
There he
Oh, was
is.
it?
There you go.
There we
So
go.
you've never been there, but you've used the events, right, to build your business still, bringing people to the virtual streams, right?
Keystone.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You brought people to Keystone?
No, I did not bring anybody to Keystone. Well, yes, I
What?
did bring someone to the Keystone. I brought 2 people to Keystone.
All right. All right, so tell me what you got planned. Like, what do you think it's going to be like?
All right, perfect. So most definitely, the first thing for the big events is that I seen first when I came on. I haven't been to Winston-Salem, and I haven't been to anything. But what I've seen is that everybody else was so excited about these events. It's like you have to get people there, you have to be around, but you have to be there first. So what I'm thinking is like, well, these big events is something like something's close to it, like a football environment. Like right before the game in the locker room, it's going crazy. You just get that adrenaline pumping. Everybody up and down. My first big event was when we went to the bowl, and then after that we went to Keystone. But even though I think most people get confused with the big events, thinking that it's only Winston-Salem and it's only Super Saturday, but also big events are Tuesday trainings. Big events are meetings with Andy. Big events are Wednesday trainings. So just getting people there, getting myself there, knowing what it could do for me, just knowing that the environment is everything, and it stretches the visions of others. So I feel like Super Saturday is going to be a big deal because I'm bringing 10 people there. And then next thing you know, North Carolina, we're going to be 20 to 50 people there. And just it's crazy what we're going to be doing. And I feel like it's going to stretch their vision. But not only that, knowing that something that someone else on that stage could relate to someone that's on my team, and not necessarily that I could do it, because I could relate to everybody, but my story might not be like everybody. So just knowing that they can see someone that's just like them, that eats just like them, that sees their story and hear their story of them going to be successful, that could push someone else. And also knowing that I never know which person is going to get that light bulb and snap. So I just think big events is everything. You have to be there. Always make sure you're there, and always bring people with you.
Good job. Hey,
Good.
Deontay, so you're going to be an RVP next month?
No, I'll be at RVP this month of June.
Ah, well, there we go.
June,
We stand corrected, right?
Hey,
So, hey, Deontay.
download the new RVP form.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that now, right? On the website. Go ahead and take care of that. Hey, one more question for you. How old are you, Deontay?
I am 20 years old.
I'm sorry, 20?
20 years old, yes.
Yeah. Setting yourself up really well. Well done.
And
Thank
Deontay,
you.
just a little aside thing is, Deontay, I mean, he has a lot to do with my weight loss because we've eaten a lot of meals together. And like even
Yeah.
at the Grove Park, I give him 2/3 of my steak. I give him my food, especially the fattening part. He ate 2 Fred Flintstone bone this long steaks. I mean, the bone was like 2 feet long. And I'm making Rob jealous now. But he had 2 Fred Flintstones in a row, I mean, without stopping. So he's a gamer. He's a dadgum running back and a linebacker. And he's playing this game just like he played football. So really proud of you, Deontay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
That's
job.
some good eating, man.
That's
Yeah.
some good
Two
eating.
back to back. I haven't done that at that particular restaurant. I've done that a couple other places where Andy's, seen a twinkle in my eye and, leans over the waiter and makes sure they bring 2 of whatever I ordered instead of 1. But
Nice.
yeah, it's
Helping you out.
yeah. But those steaks, I've had one of those steaks, man. You take 2 of those, man. You better call the emergency room, get the hospital ready.
Oh my gosh. All right. You got any other comments you want to make, Andy, about all of that?
No, I just, Laura was one of the original dadgum. It was like gym rats, We just do whatever the hell it takes to win. And I mean, I'm so proud of that group and that they've cycled back and part of the new Blitz squad moving forward. I know Kofer's coming down here next week and Sean. And, we just got, I think we'll hear from Sean in a few minutes. But whoever wants to play at a high level, man, Coco is on. And I'm excited to see my teammates. I'm excited about, I think Belda's team, came in with I know they got over 100 recruits. They're scaring the crap out of $75,000 in premium as a hierarchy, as a new SVP team. So I'm just excited to watch the new growth, the youth movement. Yeah, they drive you crazy. Old Deontay and Angelo, Belda's son, they were driving to the airport from Jacksonville. And I said, what the hell is this damn music y'all got on? They said, well, if you're riding with us, that's what you're going to listen to. And I said, if y'all playing this, I ain't riding this car anymore. So they put Frank Sinatra on for me. It's pretty nice. But anyway, I've had so much fun hanging out with those guys because they're like going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I know some of you watching me right now, you're talking about your latest procedure and another test they're going to do. And then you go see the specialist. And after that, they got a new supplement and they changed your prescription. You better get some dadgum living water around you, some new water instead of stagnant, old, dadgum people in combat boots at 64 years old or whatever. You better get yourself some youth around you, all right? This thing's getting ready. I said the Blitz Squad is going to beat everything that we ever built in Maryland. Write it down. Only 2 left, Peggy Hightower and Christian David, that are beating them. Now, I know I'm talking about Lisa Jones and about Warren Powers and the Chavez team. I know, but the whole Chavez hierarchy, the Blitz Squad's killing them guys. Keep it moving. That's what we get ready to do with all these events. Keep it moving. You want to get big? Let's get big.
All right. So
Shots fired.
Shots fired for sure, right? And you do that by building and promoting districts, right? Let's go ahead and recognize recognize promotions for this week from Laura Langston. She's promoting Erica Lane to district. Congratulations. She's also promoting Daryl Anthony to division. So good job there. David Catan, he's got a couple. Ernestine May being promoted to district, and Tanya Dawson being promoted to district as well. Kimberly Mole is promoting Elliot Davis to district, and Anthony Malone is promoting Teresa Sellers to district. Congratulations to everybody there.
Yeah, great.
I know.
Gang of promotions.
A whole bunch of them this week.
All right. Evelyn Tejada's base shop promoted a couple of people. So she's got Yarisma Antonez Behena. I'm going to try that again. Yarisma Antonez Behena to district. Andy, you can read this one after me. Jocelyn Porfirio to division.
Tonight, she went tonight at 5
Did
o'clock,
she?
6 o'clock. Yes, she did it tonight in Athens,
Good
Georgia.
job,
All right.
Evelyn, getting that
The
hustling,
little Evelyn
getting it in
team.
there.
And then
Little Evelyn.
Kimberly Navarro also got promoted to district. So that's 3 promotions out of the Tejada base shop.
Good
Wes and
job.
Shay Flournoy's base shop promoted a district. Demarion D. Cheney and LaShonda Laster went to division. So we got a district and a division promotion. And then DeWitt Salah's base shop had Fernando Nino go to district.
Good job,
Give it up for all
everybody.
those promotions.
Well done, on your way, building the districts. Okay.
Trish, you ready with those top teams?
Ooh, it's that time. Here she comes.
Now I've got to remember
with
where
her
I left off
computer.
with the other.
Get out of your way.
I have to remember.
I think it was
I don't know.
maybe there somewhere. No, that's anywhere. Just start
Okay,
there.
I'm just going to reread some names. Sorry,
be
I
fine.
didn't put a mark in my notebook where I was when I left off. So we've got the base shops of Costanzas, Sheridan, Malone, Kahn, Pallant, Parkhurst, Shakar, Santana Allen, Walter Charles, Kahana, Railjack, Plate, and Hashish. And I just remembered where I left
I did
off.
too.
Okay, had to read them out loud. Okay, so now we're going to do top 3 teams. We have got 70 and above for our top teams. So we've got Walter Charles, you're reporting in with 70. David and Garcia Catan, you're reporting in with 75. And Bel de Rubio's reporting in with 90. All 3 of these base shops, I have already gotten text from your attendees. So they're going to have to resubmit because we weren't ready to start counting them yet. So just make sure you hit everybody up. Do it quickly because it's a pretty quick turnaround tonight. So just get that going so that we can get everybody counted properly, okay?
Yeah, you got 20 minutes.
Yep.
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 25 maybe if you're lucky.
All right, so
let's-
Catan, Walter Charles, and Rubio. Those are our 3 RVP base shops that we're looking for.
Yep.
All
Start
right,
my
let's
counting.
Tell them the phone number one
All
more
right,
time.
so you heard her. Now you see it. David and Garcia Catan's base shop, Walter Charles' base shop, and Bel de Rubio's base shop. So those are the top teams making it to our playoff round of the rally. So if you are a member of one of those 3 base shops, now is your turn to participate. Like Trish said, if you submitted earlier, that was before she started counting, so you're going to have to send it in again if you submitted it once before. Text 404-465-1830, your RVP's last name, and your solution number. Your solution number, not your RVP's.
Right.
So basically, if you don't have a solution number, you're new or whatever, you're just seeing this for the first time, you're as a new guest or something, just put guest. But the main thing is we're only going to count 1 vote per phone number that sends us a text message. So I can't take my phone out and submit my solution number and Darla's solution number. No, Darla needs to use her phone for her solution number. I use mine. So make sure you report in, and when you make sure you tell us which base shop you're reporting in for. Otherwise, we don't know which one to count that vote for. And make sure your teammates know the phone number and the drill as well. So 404-465-1830. Save that number in your phone. It does not change from week to week.
All right, be quick though. Trisha's right. There's only about 20 minutes before we're going to come back to the count for that. So we have one more group of fun people that are excited and like building, part of the Blitz Squad, some of them, and just totally doing huge numbers. That's Sean T's our first one. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Darla, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm awesome. Good to see you and Robbie. I appreciate y'all.
Good.
So I just want to say thank you to Andy. Thank you, Night Glass. Appreciate the privilege to speak to the group tonight. And great job, everybody that spoke before me. But I just wanted to say, I remember my first big event. I remember when I joined the company, I actually went to my first big event the same week I joined the company. Andy did big events in Meadowlands, New Jersey. And Ben said, hey, my senior vice president at the time, Ben said, hey, Walker, we got a big event this weekend. You need to be in New Jersey. And I actually thought I had a reason, but kind of found out I didn't have a reason. I had a family reunion that weekend. And I said, well, Ben, I can't go because I have a family reunion. He said, wait a minute. You said you wanted to change your life. He said, let me ask you a question. Are there family members that if you want to see them, can you see them throughout the year? And I said, yeah, I can just go over to the house and go visit them, I guess. He said, well, let me tell you something, and which is some things you don't hear today. He said, I'm going to tell you about a little mistake and a big mistake. He said, the little mistake is if you go to New Jersey with us and you spend time, you don't like it, you feel like it's a waste of time. He said, don't ever come back to New Jersey ever again, because that's not going to be the first and last time you wasted your time. That's just a little mistake. If you don't like it, don't come back. That's a little mistake. He said, but the big mistake, if this is the event that's supposed to change your life, get you out of debt, teach you how to save some money, and you do not go, this is exactly what he said. He said, you're gonna have the same raggedy ass life you got right now. And I got so upset. I said, raggedy ass life? He doesn't even know me. I told the person that recruited me, how do you know my life is raggedy? It is raggedy, but how did he know that? And I was like, wow. I said, you know what? I'm going to the meeting, because what I didn't want to do is give him the satisfaction to thinking that I was not the one. And I showed up to that big event that same week. I went to that big event. I was like, wow, like Kofa said, had it not been for that first big event, I wouldn't be here right now. I saw people that were like me, like-minded, broke people, by the way, when I say like-minded, broke people that wanted to do something great. Then I saw people going across stage, getting recognition. I knew Andy was recognized. He actually recognized the regional vice president with like a peanut, and Ben took that peanut, got mad, threw it against the wall, because he said, you know, you're just a peanut right now. But had I not saw that, because then I got upset because I said, Ben, I'm on your team. You're a peanut. How damn? We're going to show Andy next time. We're going to come back with some people. And that's that teamship and team camaraderie. So big events are very important. That's where real players show up. I remember my mom, she used to always tell me stuff. And she used to say, well, wait a minute. I'm telling you, don't go up the street. And then I'd go talk to Ms. Jones. And Ms. Jones said, Sean, don't go up the street. And then I wouldn't go up the street. And then my mom said, I told you the same damn thing. You listen to Ms. Jones. That's what the big event does. They get to hear from other leadership, and then they get to hear from other people say the same message over and over again. A lot happens at the event. It's all about the environment. It's just like going to a concert or football game. It's always better live while you're right there. You're going to see people excited, laughing, crying, running, dancing. And then I found out the big event is for great people, great for people that don't have any friends. Because I think I did that. I took a lot of people that don't have friends outside their social media. They don't have friends, so they go to the big event just to have more friends. So they like the social part of it. So, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you got to show up. And it shows the bigness of the company. It's just like when you go to church, people get saved in church. They don't get saved when they watch a TV church commercial. They don't put their head and get anointed to this TV screen and say, I'm saved now. They show up in church. So guess what you got to do here? You got to show up to make big decisions at the big event. And then we got $1 million earner Andy, Peggy Hightower, the people we talk about, they get to meet them directly. And then the last point, if you don't go, guess what happens? Well, we're not going to worry about the ones that don't go, but if you don't go, you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, therefore you can't even sell it. Thank you, Darla.
Thank you. Well done, Sean. Hey, you know what, Sean? Go ahead and introduce Sherry. Sherry,
Well, Sherry, it's funny that you, I appreciate you allowing me to do that. Thank you, Darla. But Sherry, actually, she went to her first big event. She went to tell that story, but that's pretty exciting. New vice president. And it's not new no more because she's been the vice president for a few months now, but she's on track to hit her power bill to ring. So I'm excited for Sherry Johnson to speak about the big event. So Sherry Johnson, regional vice president.
Good evening, everyone. So yeah, thank you so much. As excited as I am for Tuesday nights and YouTube, I can't wait to get in the environment where we really grow. So everybody's kind of said what I would say is that big decisions are made at big events, but also big relationships are built at big events. And I remember Sean talking about the first big event, and the first thing I said was like, you know, are we flying? And he's like, no, we're riding in a car with like a bunch of other people. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't share hotel rooms with people. And he's like, well, you know, we'll see what happens when we get there. So I don't know. I think it was like 10 of us in a room, and somebody was sleeping in a tub and someone was sleeping on a table. And, but it was so much fun, and the relationships that were built. You know, if you're sitting on this call now and you're like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm telling you what, you will never, ever have relationships like the relationships you build in these events, and experience on the way and experience back. And I'm telling you, it's almost like a drug, because if there was a time that I missed an event, or if there's a time that I was late, or whatever happened, I felt like I was fiending. I was like, gosh, I wonder what they're doing now. Like, I wonder, you know, what they're saying, what I'm missing. And you cannot bring it back. It's like going to a concert, going to a movie. Like, if I was going to a movie and I came back and told you the whole thing, you're not going to get the feeling that I got. And let me tell you, Sean T. Walker is the most amazing person to not only sell people and go into the big event, but he has a track record. Like, I've been here going, November will be 16 years. And I don't ever remember him missing any event, no matter what happened, no matter if he couldn't walk, no matter if he couldn't move, no matter if something was going on at home. And so I had to do that behind it. But, you know, in the beginning, I didn't see it. In the beginning, I was like most people, like, I have to work on Friday. Like, I'm not taking off my job that paid me $2,500 a month as a teacher with 2 education degrees. You make $30,000 a year, you have $50,000 in student loan debt, and you think that's normal. And so my first big event changed all that. I started missing the Fridays every month. And I started realizing that being in a big event around people who are like-minded and can take you to another level and can show you what you can do for your family on a small scale, on a big scale, was huge. Because of a big event, I've been able to not only be jobless for the past 10 years, but also take care of my mom and being in a position to say, hey, I've got this because I'm around an environment where there are people who have done it. And I just am so grateful for the events. I'm so excited about the 12th. The funny thing is, guys, is when you get so excited about it, you just start buying tickets as soon as they say it. So, I bought my tickets as soon as they said it. I got my hotel room for North Carolina as soon as they said it. And you don't even check your schedule. That's how you know you're fully committed and you're going to be there, right? So I'm so excited to see all of you in person. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and it is going to be a magnificent 2021.
Yeah, that's awesome, Rose.
Blind faith.
Exactly. You're committed when you don't even check your calendar, right?
Yep.
So next up, last but certainly not least, thank you, Sherry. What is Walter? There he is, Walter Charles. Hey, Walter. You're like
hey, Donna, how are you?
Good. How are you? Tell us. You bring
right,
lots of people to Winston-Salem.
I'm just enjoying this environment. I want to first thank Andy and Trish for sure for always coming to me, and right, Trish, and Night Glass for all the things that we do on a Tuesday night. And I look at these as big events, and that's why we always have a big attendance there. We always push the attendance, always get our people engaged, because I need these big events to grow. All my success has come through big events. And the great thing about it was mostly all great events that was created by Andy. I remember when I first started plugging into the Breakfast Club in 2002 was his first Breakfast Club when I became a chartered member. And since then, I just love what I got from it. And I'm not that smart, Dollar, but I'm ambitiously lazy. Okay, I will do what I have to do fast to get where I want to do, get where I want to go. And if you look at it, why try to reinvent something when it's already there created for you? The way that we feel. I remember we always moved buses to North Carolina. It doesn't matter if I had 10 people on the bus, 15 people on the bus, because I heard Andy say that, hey, you got to move buses to these events. I was always coachable. I always listen to things like that. And what I love about the big events is some of the results that I've gotten. And that's why I keep plugging into these big events. Like we went to Keystone. First, I want to say I was thankful and grateful to be included in all the one-day schools that you all had last year during the COVID time. I was able to go to all those schools, so it kept me revived. But I remember when we went to Keystone this year, we took like 12 people to Keystone. And when we came back, the bonding grew so much, and we had like 6 new people there, right? For the first time in any big event. Some of the people who we thought would have gone didn't go because of COVID. And that's why it's so important to do that double-digit recruiting, because you get the new people and they're always excited about going. And we came back there, and that month we had the most promotions for the whole of the year so far. We had one lady, Sierra, jump from rep to division. We had one lady, Desiree Desiree and Aaliyah jump to the division promotion. We had my daughter going to district promotion also. And so it showed me that the success is always plugging people in the big event, because I'm not that smart, And then when I look back at from when we started plugging into the big event with Andy back, way back then in 2003, you didn't look at it. My RVP promotion, my ring promotion, my SVP promotion, my ownership promotion was all in that environment. And all the RVPs that is associated with me plugs into that environment. My first 3 line RVPs, Daryl, over 100,000, Darren with ownership, Anthony Malone in April last month, he went over 200,000. So the environment has worked for me. So that's why I love the big event. My first big event was the convention. And since then, it blew my mind. And I realized that all I got to do, Sean, is not to be very smart, but to put people in the big events. Because you always hear people say big decisions. I made a big event, but also you hear I say you win with people and not products. So if you're winning with people, you got to move people into the environment. And once you move people to those environments, you will win in Primerica here. And Andy, of course, Andy's always coming, one of those old guys. So Andy, the big events for me is perfect at my age, because I don't have the energy to run all over the place, but I have enough energy to move buses to the big events. Thank you guys for your time.
Walter, looking forward to you. You said buses. I'm looking forward to your buses now. Just a couple comments. Little Evelyn Tejada, she used to be Big Evelyn, but she had a lunch. I went to 3 lunches last Wednesday, 3 separate lunches, and Jocelyn and Porfirio, who just went to division and got it all buttoned up right before month end at 6 o'clock, called me because we shook hands and she was shaking, trying to make a decision about am I going to do it by month end or not. And damn it, said I'm going to do it, and she did it. So proud of her. Stephanie Velasquez came in with 18 recruits, 10,814 for the month of May. That was clicked in. That's what's on there right now. You know, they were sitting at the lunch. You know, the next day in Philadelphia at a dinner. I know this Thursday, crap, 2 days from now, I got lunches tomorrow with people. The little events turn into big events. So you got to start moving people, getting people that are doing something. They got to do something. I'm not just going to have lunch to hang out with people. I want people that are going to go to district, division, regional. Going to bring people. They got 5, 10 people coming, people that are moving. We got, I know, 25 people in Park City, Utah, I guess, Thursday night that have all been recruited into business, you know, with Belda. And I think Ida and Jesse over in California, I know they're watching 10 by 10. They'll be going to RVP soon. I know that another one's getting ready to take their SIE. And Deontay, you already heard, going to RVP. I think that's enough to go to NSD. So go to RVP 2 years later, go to SVP, and then 2 months, 3 months later, go to NSD. What the crap? You guys want to move? Let's move. And I'm telling you, the big we did all this friggin' putting it together with Zoom and twigs and rubber bands and paper clips and figuring out on the fly. When we go back to those events, it is game on. I promise you. You got to go out there and sell out to June 12th, June 11th for those coming from out of town. And I've been running with groups. I'm telling you, I'm looking for people that want to go to RVP, SVP, NSD, SNSD, because we're an SNSD factory. Oh, and then double SNSD, ISNSD now. Coco, Circle of Champions ownership, because you do 18, double the SNSD, you do 18 and 500,000 through third, you'll be paid $1 million a year for 25, 30 years without having to go out there and take your pen and go train people. So what level do you want to play at? That's what we're talking about here. And it starts with double-digit recruiting and districts. Don't get it too far ahead of the game. We got some people that are moving. The ground's moving right now. I don't know if you can feel it with the Zoom and the YouTube. It's moving. You get to the big event, you're going to really feel it moving.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, one more look at our awesome audience. I want to thank William Kofer, Janine Martin, Rob McKeever, Laura Langston, Evelyn Carrillo, Deontay Miller, Sean Walker, Sherry Johnson, and Walter Charles. Those teams are all our audience. We appreciate you guys all showing up and hanging out with us.
Yep.
All right, Andy's system, right? How does he do all this, and what do you do? I mean, I know he says get 10, but
yeah. Right?
If you need more details, they're all available for free out on the website. Andy Young's complete system since the IPO. So maybe you should talk. 3-part series. How I got 27, still at 27?
27.
27 RVPs.
29, 30.
Set for 28, right? Working 3 days a week and increased his override.
Included Deontay?
No, Deontay will be number 28. Unless somebody else gets there faster.
All right, so we're just might need to hire somebody besides Amy to update that graph.
Yeah, keep it going, right? I'll just do a little X on it.
You look like the national debt clock.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome, right? Its own little counter going. Right?
Okay, give your 1 minute speech. Thank you for coming. Next.
All right, I'll be running a clock on them now.
That's it.
All right, you guys. So everything's there for free. All you have to do is go out. You can watch it. You can listen to it, download it, learn the presentation. There's one presentation that's 20 minutes. Easy to do. Like you said, it's like the lyrics to your favorite song, right? Learn it over and over, and then do it over and over and over again, and move the people to the events. Let the events do the work.
Absolutely.
That's what they're designed to do. You will meet, guaranteed, somebody just like you at any event that you go to that we have. It's amazing. Amazing, the variety of people. All right, we're speaking of which.
Tickets, limited number of tickets available.
I think when I looked, I think it's like 117 tickets left.
Yes.
Yep.
For turning up the heat.
Hey, yeah, for turning up the heat. 117 tickets
that's
left.
That's it. So
and I'll do what you want.
6 out of 7 tickets are sold, basically.
Pretty much. If you guys waiting until the last minute to see if your schedule clears, you might want to go ahead and make a commitment, right? June the 6th is the recognition cutoff date. If you're a new RVP, Deontay, you might want to fill out the RVP form on the downloads page. Go ahead and get it done now. Don't wait till the last minute.
Yep.
You know, Trish and I have this kind of like running joke about if we know who you are, it might not be a good thing. Don't wait.
Yep.
Works out good. All right, we will be looking at the April-May recognition period, so go ahead and get that done really quick. All right, Trish, you got winners? How are we doing on time?
I do have winners, but
Right
hold on.
on time.
I have a public service announcement
You do?
first. I do. So if you are an RVP and have been promoted to an RVP, you are now your own team. So don't report under your RVP because you are now the RVP reporting in.
Nice.
Look at how crafty you
You
are.
will be surprised what that little text message shows me. So just saying, if you are an RVP now, you need to be counting your RVP numbers, your own base shop numbers. Okay? So there's my little spiel. I will say, and if you're an RVP and you know all who you are, fill out the form, or we're not. Sometimes we can't go back in and redo numbers at the last minute. So just putting that public service announcement out there. So
Appreciate
and if you
that.
filled it out, if you're not sure you filled it out, do it again. It's better to do
Never
it twice
hurts.
than not at all.
Yep.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you. Those were good details.
Okay, so David and Garcia Catan reported in with 75. We had 60 verified. Very good. We have Walter Charles. You reported in with 70. We had 64 verified. So that takes us to our winning team. Belda, you reported in with 90. You had 90 report in.
Oh,
and
very
that's with me
nice.
filtering your numbers.
Oh, so the PSA was directed.
No, it's not only her.
Okay.
Sorry. It's not only her base shop.
Can I
I'm
just
telling
say
you.
something on that note?
Yeah.
Because the reason you're getting left out of this PSA is because you ain't got no RVPs.
No.
So why don't you get some? I'd like, that's a good thing to be happening. And they need to do their own report. That's totally right. But get some daggum RVPs. You get pulled over by Trish. License and registration.
And what's your name?
That's right.
Is your upline?
Who's your upline? Who's your dad?
Who's your upline?
I'm
That's
done with
our
my
line.
I'm done with my public service.
Who's your upline? Always looking for that. All right, you guys, we're going to leave you with 2 videos. One to kind of like get you prepared for the July meeting, and the second one was another phenomenal video from the Art Williams Best Collection called Absolutely Phenomenal, right? So see you all next Tuesday.
Bye.
That was
All my life, I've wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be amongst a group of people that would look at me and say, let me tell you something. That's a good man. That's a tough man. That guy will fight you. Man, he's a winner. All my life, I've wanted to be somebody I'm proud of, make a difference with my life. And folks, I think maybe beating Prudential is the highlight of my business life. As we beat Prudential, and that became apparent about 2 weeks ago, I think I went around for a few days and a days. This was 15 years, a dream of mine. I started thinking about my career and some of the proud things that I've been able to do that just made me feel good about Art Williams. When I came in this business, I loved coaching and was good at coaching, and I never saw Art Williams being able to make it in sales or in business. I thought the people that had the big offices and made the big money, that they were different than Art Williams. They just had a little bit more going for them in that area than Art Williams. I didn't know anybody buy from me. It took me 6 weeks to get licensed in insurance and securities, and went out and sold my assistant coach a term program and a mutual fund. And I left there and made $350. Before that, I'd run up down that basketball court for a part-time job for 3 hours and make $12. When my manager told me I went in there in 45 minutes and saved these people thousands and thousands of dollars, and that I just made $350, folks, I can't tell you how proud I was. I can't tell you, the first 2 years I went in this business full time, I was scared every day that I couldn't make it. I thought I was going to have to go back and coach football every day. Every time I missed a sale, I thought I was a failure. Every time one of my guys quit, I thought I was a dud. I thought I was a loser. 2 years after I'd been in the business full time, all of a sudden I began to figure this business out. And I began to understand that I could make a living in this business. I was so proud. I can't tell you how I felt the first time I carried a death claim. And I carried a widow and 2 children, $95,000 check to replace a $10,000 or $15,000 policy. And all of a sudden I realized the phenomenal business I was in. Folks, I want you to learn to compete. I don't care where you are, dadgummit, it's time now to go for it. There ain't nobody in this room paid too big a price for the success you can have near term at A.L. Williams. I want you to be a fabulous personal example of success. Folks, I'd like for you to think about you. I want you to become a better man or woman. I want you to be more proud of you. I want people to look at you and feel good about you and feel good about having you on their team. I want you to become a more powerful, a more positive, more aggressive human being. I used to sell all my business early in the ball game in my Bermuda shorts and coaching shoes. And I thought there was something magical and special about the life insurance salesman that had the CLU degree and wore the 3-piece suits and talked so great. And the first time one of my clients called me back over for a confrontation, I was scared to death. And I thought they had some secret plan in their kit, some way, some special thing that I couldn't will. I can't tell you how proud I was when I sat down and mutilated him and knew for the first time in my heart that there was no hope for him, that buy term and invest the difference would whip him in the long run. I was so proud. I was so proud. The first year I was paid $100,000. And then I saw Bob Buson paid $100,000. And then all of a sudden we had 200 or 300 people paid $100,000 in 1 year. And all our competition said for all those years we couldn't do it, that we weren't capable. I was so proud. I'd never been in an airplane until I got in this business. Took my first airplane ride. I was proud, scared, but I was proud. Now I own an airplane. I was so proud February 10, 1977 when we founded A.L. Williams and 85 of my friends. We locked hands and we were so scared. But man, we launched something special.